So we're doing row number 45, and what we're going to do is just start the pattern as we know it to maintain the stitch integrity as far as the texture is concerned. So this is the original ball that was never cast off or fastened off, and we're just going to maintain this. So when we get to here, we're going to just chain 32, and then after the chain 32, we're going to reconnect then the left-hand side. Now we're looking at the back of this right now. So what I need to do, this is the right side. So when we go to connect, we have to make sure that it's up like this so that the right side is facing down, that when we do this so that it will actually look proper. And that's what we're going to do next. So let's begin row number 45. It's either chain 2 or chain 1 to start, and then you can just half double crochet in your first one to keep that edge beautiful. And then you can tell by the stitch work at this point, you should be able to, and we're just going to maintain the texture. And once we get to this section right here across, then we're going to chain 32, and that's where I'll see you there in a moment. So I'm coming all the way across. Now here, I would have normally put in a half double crochet at the end, but I want to make it as a back post double crochet this time, just to keep that pattern looking consistent. Okay. And now I want to chain a total of 32. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Once you have your 32 done, you want to keep this so that it's upside down. Okay, so this is the good side here. So turn it upside down and make sure the lapel is coming in towards the front of it. Okay, so we're looking at the back, so make sure it looks like this. Once you have your 32 in, it states then in the first one right here, this a single crochet. Let me just get this in my hands properly. It states that we need to put in a front post double crochet in the single, but what I want to do is that I want to maintain the pattern, so I'm just looking at it. So this one is definitely a front post double crochet in the front post. Okay, the next one has to be a back post double crochet. Okay, and then the next one, see, this has to be a front post because it's currently on the back. So we know that it's going to be aligned now properly, and so I'm going to go all the way down to the front of the toggle wrap now, and this is attaching the two pieces together, and we'll be right back at the end of this row, and this is number 45. So I'm coming up all the way to the very bottom front of your toggle wrap and maintaining the stitch work as I already know it. Just kind of look below just to make sure you got everything correct, and then just get it right to the end, half double crochet in the end, and turn your work. So you're going to turn the whole wrap. So right now you can see that this front panel is now attached, and so we're going to start row number 46 next. 46, we have 2 sets of instructions to do. We're just going to start how you already know how to start, and you're going to maintain the texture work up until we get to the chain. In the chain, each of the 32 will have 1 double crochet each, so you'll have 32 double crochet, and once you get beyond the chain, you're just going to maintain the stitch work as you know it. Here's the thing, once we get across this row, we should have 148 stitches returning back to our project like we did at the very beginning, so both sides will currently match. And what we need to do is put a stitch marker on the 74th stitch once we get all the way here. So I'm going to count after this is all the way done, this row, to the 74th one, and we'll mark it for a shoulder, because then we're going to begin some fancy footwork after that. So I'm getting close to the chain work. I'm going to verify and make sure I only put 32 double crochets in. There's only 32 chains, but I do want to make sure that that's the right number going in so that the texture will align in the future. So right in the next one, so starting in the next chain, do all the chain work, make sure there's only 32, and then restart the texture when you get beyond the chain and up the other side. Okay, all the way to the end. I'll be right back. So I've gone all the way across, and I'm now placing my stitch marker on the stitch after the 74th, and this is the shoulder, marking the shoulder. So I'm just placing that there, leaving that there, and I have confirmed I have 148 stitches across now at this point, which is great, and I'm going to start row number 47 next. Now row number 47 and 48 are similar rows, and what we're doing is we're just maintaining the pattern. So as we get to where the chain exists, we want to make sure that the stitch work is staying in line with each other. So here you can see that it was a back post, so it's going to be a front post, back post, and etc. That should take you all the way so that the stitch work matches each other as you pass across this and back to the other side. So we're going to begin. So you're just going to chain 2 or chain 1 or however you want to start, and then half double crochet in the first one, and then maintain your texture all the way across. And once you get to the other side, then turn your work and then do the same thing back just to maintain the texture, and do rows number 47 and 48 now. Row number 49, chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each stitch going all the way across, and then I'll see you on number 50 in just a moment. We're beginning row number 50 and 51, and remember when we did this section right here with these chevrons or these arrow stitching, that's what we're going to do. You should be looking at the right side of the work right now, and we know that by the stitch marker, but obviously by the following the pattern as well. So we're going to begin row number 50 next. As we start number 50, the stitch marker is indicating where the shoulder is. So this is just going to follow it up, and we're going to stop and do the arrow stitching in the one direction, and we'll change direction once we get to that rough point there. So there we go, and let's begin to start. So let's begin. We're going to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet, and you're going to double crochet then into the next stitch. You're then going to skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and treble into that stitch. And then in the 3 skip stitches, accessing it from behind, you're going to start with the first one and double crochet each one. And make sure that the treble stays in the front of the work so that you can see it when you're wearing it. So we've done this before if you've been following the tutorial work. So now you're going to skip the next 3 stitches and treble into the next. And then you're going to double crochet in each of the 3 skip stitches, just accessing it from behind, and do that. So you want to continue to do this until you get to the stitch marker where it's indicating that there is the shoulder, and then we're going to change direction of the arrow stitching at that point. So continue the same manner going to that spot. So I can see the stitch marker is right here, and so that's what I'm going to start and do that section then at the top and switch the direction of the arrow. To do that, I'm going to skip the first one right here, and we're going to double crochet into the next 3 after that. So 1, 2, and 3, and then treble crochet into the one you skipped, keeping the treble on the front of the project. Okay, so it changes the direction of the arrow. So then you're going to skip the first one and double crochet into the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then treble into the one you skipped. And I need you to do this all the way to the other side. The last 2 stitches should be a double crochet, and I'll see you there in a moment. So I'm coming all the way across here on number 50, and the last 2 stitches then will be 1 double crochet each. So everything's looking good, and we're going to turn our work and begin number 51. If you recall last time we did this, it's more awkward for the arrow stitch when you're on the back of it, but it's doable. So just chain up 3 and double crochet into the next one. And just make sure you turn it around to look, just to make sure that you're starting off properly. You're going to skip the first one and just see these double crochets, so you just want to match those like we did before. So there's 3 of those in a row. And then you need to treble into the one you skipped. Okay, so just treble into the one you skipped on the, just going on the back of it to keep that treble on the back of the work that you see. Okay, so when you turn it, you should see the 2 are lined up. So skip the next one, which is the treble on the front side here, and just double crochet into the next ones. And then treble into the one you skipped. So you already done this before, so it shouldn't be too hard for you this time. Just awkward, as you can imagine. So you want to do that until you get to the shoulder point, and then we're going to switch directions once we get up there and change the direction of the arrow at that point. So I'm here at the halfway point, so I want to change the direction of the arrows. To do this, on this section here, you were going to put in the treble first, and then the 3 that you skipped over, these double crochets, stay on this side. So just push that treble out of the way, keep it on the front of the project. So the other side from what you can see at this moment. So this one's easier than the first half that we started with. Just double check it and make sure it makes sense. Okay, so you're gonna come over here and you're gonna treble first. So you're skipping the first 3 double crochet and then double crochet in the 3 that you skipped, keeping the treble on the front. So please do this all the way to the other side. The last 2 stitches will be a double crochet, and that's where I'm going to be picking up in just a moment. So I'm coming up to the end, and the last 2 stitches are a double crochet each. Remember, the chain 3 is counted as a stitch. So when you turn around, the arrow stitch is now back into position, and now we're moving on in the pattern. Rows 52 to 55 ends up being a repeat pattern, so we're going to be doing the sequence twice, just so you know. So let's start row number 52. Chain up 3, that counts as your first double crochet. You'll start immediately in the next one, and you'll double crochet yourself all the way across the row, and I'll be right back here in a moment. Row number 53, the designer is reminding us that we need to be on the wrong side for this row. And if you're following the pattern, you will be on the wrong side, so it should not be a big deal. The arrow stitch should be on the other side of the work, so you're looking at the wrong side. We're going to begin the bobbles because the bobbles always pop out to the opposite side. So if you ever do the bobbles and it's on the right side of the work, they'll pop towards the inside of the poncho or the wrap instead of the outside. So looking at the wrong side, you're going to just chain up 1 and you'll single crochet into the first 2. To do the bobble, you're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, going in, pull through 2 and hold, and do it again, pull through 2 and hold, and again. You want to do it 4 times, one more time. You should see 4 loops on the hook that make up the bobble, and the 5th one is the starting one, so a total of 5. You're going to yarn over and pull through everything, and then chain 1 to lock it, and then you're going to single crochet then the next 3 in a row. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the bobble will be on the back side. So the next one is the bobbles, yarn over, in, pull through 2 and hold, and do that a total of 4 times. You've done it before if you're following along in this series. 5 loops should be on the hook, pull through everything, chain 1 locks it, and single crochet the next 3. Do this all the way down the row, and I'll see you at the end of the row in a moment. So I'm coming all the way on 53. The second last one should be a bobble. That's just keeping the right count. The designer just wants us to make sure we're doing it properly. And then the very last stitch, which will be the top of the turning chain, will be a single crochet. So we're going to turn our work now and begin number 54. Number 54 is going to be chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, and you're going to have to make some decisions on where you're going here. So remember that chain 1 does not count as a double crochet. So sometimes depending where you put it, it can look out of sync with the others, but you've got to just make sure that you're just keeping it spaced. So you're going to double crochet in the top of the first bobble, and then the next 3 single crochets are going to be a double crochet. So the way I kind of look at it is that there's kind of 4 stitches, so you can do your bobble, and then the 3 singles get each a double. And that's how I keep count of it, to prevent myself from adding any extra stitches. And hopefully that will help you. So please double crochet in each of the stitches all the way across, and I'll be right back in a moment. Coming all the way across on number 54, and just going right into the very last one. Let's turn our work and do number 55. Let's do number 55. You're going to chain up 1 and you'll single crochet into the first 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to apply your bobble. and then that's where you're going to start your sequence like you had been before. So it's offset from the way you did it before, so therefore it'll appear in the middle. Okay, so chain 1 to lock, and then 1 into the next 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then bobble. And you're going to do this all the way across. And I'll meet you on the other side in a second to finish up the row. Okay, so when you turn it around, the bobble should be in between, which it is. Okay, so do that, and I will be back in a moment at the end of the row. So I'm coming to the end of number 55, and the last 3 are single crochets. And then we're going to move on in the pattern in just a moment, so turn your work. Okay, rows 56 to 59 is the same rows as 52 to 55. We use video chapters, so if you go in the video description, I want you to restart again at number 52 and do 53, 54, and 55 all over, so 4 more rows. And I'm going to have you do that, and then you can come back to this point here, and we'll be starting row number 60 and 61 after that. So please go back and do rows number 52 to 55 once, and I'll be back in just a moment. So I'm back, and sorry about your luck because I'm here again. Okay, so let's go. 60 to 61 is the next 2 rows. So you can see I completed the sequence twice, so you can see 4 sets of bobbles. So 60 and 61 are just 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So just start jamming in your single crochets. So please do this for this row and also number 61, and meet me back for number 62 in a moment. So rows number 60 and 61 are now complete. Rows number 62 and 63 is the same as rows number 50 and 51. It is the arrow stitch once again. So scroll back using the video description. You'll find those video chapters, and scroll back and redo number 50 and 51, and that will take you through 62 and 63 next. I'll do that off camera and be back, and we'll start then number 64 after that. So I've now just completed rows number 62 and 63, which is the same as 50 and 51. So now I have the arrow stitch on both sides of the bobbles here. So let's move on to now, I'm just going to give you 2 instructions now. Row 64 is chain 1 single crochet across, and then row 65 is chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and double crochet back. So please do rows number 64 and 65, and we'll be right back in just a moment. So I've now just finished up to row 65, a double crochet. I'm going to give you the rest of the verbal instructions. So you're going to now do rows number 66 all the way to 83. So 66 is the start of the texture pattern like you had done before, okay? So when you go to start this row, and you're going to start your texture right immediately, and so I would do my starting like I normally would have with the half double crochet and the front, and the first one out, it says that the first one is a front post double crochet. So once you know that the next one is a back post double crochet, okay? And so you're going to go all the way across, you'll turn and you'll go back across, and you'll be doing the mock seed stitch for the massive section that you had when you did it. So let me just zoom you out here. So when we did it at the very beginning, we had this big section. We're doing this the same thing, but on this side now. So what I'm going to do is that on a piece of paper here, I have a check sheet. And in my check sheet, I have that I'm doing 66, 67, and I'm just going to keep doing the rows and create this texture pattern. And on the end of the 83rd one, I'm going to fasten off, and that's where it's going to end, and that's where this video is going to end. So I'm going to have you do this whole section now on your own, 66 all the way to 83, and you're just creating that mock seed stitch, as I mentioned, and I want you to do that, and that's going to be it for today's video. So hopefully get that done, and next time we'll see you in the next video. We're going to be doing the neckband section, which will then conclude this Aran toggle wrap. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.